Hello teachers, this is Michelle here. I wanted to do a tutorial answering the question I get asked more than anything. How do I make a video lesson that I can either upload to my YouTube channel or just embed into a slideshow so that students can go to the slideshow, watch my video teaching lesson, and then maybe do a slide or two of practice or independent work that is asynchronous in nature, meaning that the student can watch the video independently on their own, do the practice work on their own, and then I'm able to go back and check it because it could be some sort of formative assessment or it could be an exit ticket but yet at the same time is engaging. The key is to make lessons that an asynchronous lesson that can be done independently. Now, I understand that a lot of lessons are going to require parent support at home, but we don't always have a situation where there is a parent or an older sibling at home working with a student. So I believe that it's important that we design our asynchronous lessons as such that students are able to independently doing it on their own. If that means making an audio recording for those non-readers or making an easily accessible video tutorial that shows them exactly what they need to do and walks them through the steps and that is easy for them to understand and to remain consistent. It's important to have some consistency in the way that you deliver your lessons so that students can be trained and know what to expect. So this is just how I would approach, but I'm going to do an example. If I wanted to teach students about the 3x3 cube and solving a 3x3 cube, I would start my instructional videos such as this. I would teach the students to pick a color and have that color facing them. I would say to them that the color that's facing you is always your front face, and in my case, it's the blue. So my blue is my front face and it's facing my front. The top is always the top, the bottom is always the bottom, the left is always the left, the right is always the right, and the back is always the back. Knowing the faces of your cube is the first step to solving a 3x3 cube. Okay, teachers, so I just made my quick video using the awesome screen recorder on the faces of a 3x3 cube. I finished recording and I uploaded it to my YouTube channel, seamless integration, and now I'm ready. I opened up my slideshow as you can see here, and now I'm ready to go get that video, embed it into my slideshow so that I can continue with the rest of my activity for my students, their asynchronous lesson. Okay, so let me just go ahead and shrink down my little video here. And I'm going to go over to YouTube. And from YouTube, if you're just opening up your YouTube channel, you're always going to go to your channel first. Then from your channel, go into your studio, click on videos on the left, and you will see that there's the video recording that I just made of the faces of a 3x3 cube. And I'm just going to change the title a little bit just to solving a 3x3 cube tutorial. Even though, it's not really a tutorial for solving a Rubik's Cube, it's actually a tutorial for you as teachers on how to make a video, upload it to your channel, then embed it into a slideshow. So I'm actually going to call this Faces of a 3x3 Cube tutorial, and this is actually a video for HWES teachers wanting to record a video and embed it into their slideshow. I can't spell. Pressure. Okay. Their Google slideshow. All right. So my video is uploaded. I've changed the title. I've made a quick description. I'm going to choose my little thumbnail, which this one's good. It's got me with the little cube there, and I'm ready to save it. I want this to be unlisted because I'm really just going to be embedding it into my slideshow, so I really don't need it to be listed or anywhere. Now, it's different if you want it to be public because you want to grow your channel, but I recommend you just leave it unlisted. So you make it unlisted. You can go ahead and save. Be sure to save after you make any edit options. And then you're going to click this little copy link icon, copy the link, or you can copy and paste that, and you go back to your slideshow. So as you can see here, I have my slideshow, and now I'm ready to embed that video that I just made. So I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to choose Video, and it asks me, oh, am I going to choose a YouTube? Yes, I am, because I just made one, and it's going straight into my slideshow. So now here is my video slideshow for my students for them to watch the video, and then I'm going to maybe add another slide for practice. Okay, teachers, I'm back and I've made some adjustments and some edits to my slideshow. I've got my video, as you can see here. Oops, I think it's pointing that way. Yep. Sorry, it's reversed. I've got my video to the side. I added a fancy background. All I did was take an image that I found on Google and I made it my background image so that it's more engaging for the students. I added another slide for practice. As you can see, my practice slide is, can you color and label the 6 sides of a 3x3 cube? This is going to eventually be turned into a Pear Deck slide that the students can draw directly on and color and use the colors. And let's see if they can remember what was in the video of the different sides and different colors. Everyone's example is going to look a little different, but I'm curious to see what the students come up with using the different tools. And then the last slide is, what did you learn? Which is really just, an opportunity for them to write, draw, or type again what they learned from the teaching video. And that's really my entire lesson for the students at this time. So now that I have my teaching slide that I got from YouTube, I have my student practice slide, and then I added another fun slide for them just to tell me what they've learned. I'm now going to turn this into a Pear Deck because I want my students to be able to write directly on the screen. Now, some of you want to just leave it as it is and give the students the flexibility to begin to try to draw and write and color on here. It will be a little bit difficult in Google Slides. That's what's great about Pear Deck, is that it can turn it into an interactive slide where students can just draw and color. So I'm going to show you what that looks like to just embed it into Pear Deck. Now, if you go to add-ons, you're going to choose the Pear Deck add-on. Okay. Once it opens over here on the right, my first slide doesn't necessarily need to be a Pear Deck slide, but my second slide for sure needs to be a Pear Deck slide where they're going to be drawing on it. So I'm going to choose the draw slide, and pops up a screen that says adding the interactive to this slide. You know this is correct because it adds this little gray toolbar down at the bottom that says that students are going to be able to draw anywhere on the slide to include write. This one here, this slide here, you can make this a draw slide as well, but I really want the students to be just answering the question. So I'm just going to turn this into a text slide. Now, in the text slide, it just turns the slide into a question where the students are asked a question and they write their response anywhere on the slide. Okay, so my activity is done, and now I'm ready to turn it into an asynchronous lesson, and I want my students then to upload it to our Google Classroom. So my lesson is done. I did my video, I made my practice slide, I turned it into an interactive Pear Deck, and now I'm ready to start my lesson and turn it into a student-paced activity. By making the activity in Pear Deck student-paced, it means that it's asynchronous. The student can open it at any time and can do the activity. So I'm going to choose student-paced activity. I'm going to ensure that I'm logged into my teacher account. Waiting. Okay, from here it says copy the link below and send it to your students, or you can just click a quick link and share it to your Google Classroom, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to click the share to my Google Classroom. Now, if you happen to be a specialist teacher that is doing this, you're going to want to put it in your specialist classroom and then reuse the assignment in order to send it to all the different classrooms that you work with. But if you are just a classroom teacher with one class, you can upload it directly to your classroom. So I'm going to choose my EdTech class. I'm going to make this an assignment, and as we all know that when you make something an assignment, the students have to do it, and then they have to go back and turn it in. So it's really your choice how you want the lesson to be tracked. I'm going to make it an assignment in my EdTech classroom. Okay, the assignment is faces of a 3x3 cube lesson. Okay, and I'm just going to click it to all of my students that are in my class. Okay, it's ungraded, don't have a due date. My topic is I'm just going to put this under educational technology, and I'm going to assign it. Okay, I'm going to open the lesson. Let's see what it looks like for students. So now when the students click on the link, they're feeling great. And now, here is my lesson for students. When they click on the video, because it says to watch my video about the faces of a 3x3 cube, they click on it. It opens the video. Hello, teachers. This is Michelle here. Okay, let's go back to our lesson. The next slide is that students are to draw anywhere on this slide and to label the sides of a 3x3 cube. So from here, they can begin to draw. I like sort of the highlighter tool if I want to make this face the yellow face. Okay, and we know that opposite the yellow face, let's see, is the white face. So I'm going to leave that one white. I know that opposite the blue face is a green face. So I can make the blue face and the green face. I know that the red face is opposite the orange face. Okay, so students may say something, and again, this activity might be too hard for elementary students, but you can start to type the front. So what I'm looking for is that students are able to label. Right, so you get the picture. So then once the students have done that, or whatever your activity is, they can go on to the next one, answer here. What did you learn? I learned that a 3x3 cube has 6 faces. The colors are, and then of course you're hoping that the students are able to tell you the 6 colored faces and names of the faces of a cube. So I hope that this tutorial was helpful and how easy you can create a video, embed it into a slideshow presentation, turn it into an interactive Pear Deck, and assign it to your students in Google Classroom. Have a good day. Bye. Haha, psych. So I bet you thought I was done. Well, now that you know how to make a video using Awesome Screen Recorder, upload it to your YouTube channel, embed it into your slideshow presentation, turn your quick slideshow presentation into an interactive lesson using Pear Deck, now you want to know, how do I go back and see the results? How do I go back and look at my student work? Well, let me show you. So I'm back in my Pear Deck activity lesson that I've made, and now I want to go to my teacher dashboard. So over here on the side where the 3 lines are, you're going to go to Review Sessions. When you click on the Review Sessions button, it lists all the different Pear Deck sessions that you've created by name. And as you can see here, and I forgot to name the session, but it was called Solving a 3x3 Cube, and I know that it was a student-paced lesson. So I can click and I can open that lesson, or I can go to look at the results, classroom view, or I can go to the dashboard view. And I'm just going to open it up from the dashboard view. And I want to see what my students did. Okay, so it has my students that are listed over here on this side. And I can click through and begin to see the different students' work. So in my last video, I pretended like I was a student and I was working, and I'm also checking here to see the student answers. Now, when you have an entire class, because ultimately the last slide, yes, it was fun that the kids got to practice and draw and color, but really the last slide was my assessment or my exit ticket, seeing what they really understood from watching my video. So I learned that a 3x3 cube has 6 faces and the colors are, etc. So this is where you can check for understanding, and you can determine if your video was effective, or if that you need to go back and reteach, or just check, for the engagement of your students. So that's how you go back to check your work after your students have done an activity in Pear Deck. I hope it was helpful. Bye.